Let me just be the first to say, saggy couches are no fun. They look terrible. They feel terrible. And more importantly, they look terrible. I know I said that twice, but aesthetics are a big deal to us in this house. So today we're gonna fix it together as a team. This month marks 1 year since we got our couch, and it started looking bad within 2 or 3 months. Part of the reason is because it's white, so you can see more of the dirt and more of the decompression of the cushions. So much decompression. But the main reason I think is because it's a down couch. So it's filled with feathers. This sounded great to us in theory at the store. We were like, oh yes, we'll take it. But shortly after we got home, I started it didn't have very much integrity or support. And especially when you sit on the edge of the couch, which I do surprisingly often Why do I do that? You sink right in, which is kind of what we wanted. However, you sink all the way down to the beam of the couch, which is quite uncomfortable, let me tell you. So if you too have made the mistake of buying a down couch with no foam, or you just need to give some life to your old couch, then this is the video for you. Let's do what we can. All right, so this is my $1,500 one-year-old couch in all of its saggy glory. If you remove the cushion, you can see some sunflower seed kernels, laundry, and more importantly, the beam. This is what you sink right into when you try to sink down. It's solid and it hurts. And then for the base of the couch, we just have some springs, but again, not offering very much support. The cushion itself, as far as I know, is completely made out of feathers. All right, so my cushions are removable, so I'm gonna start by taking those off and soaking them in the bathtub. Super dingy, let's let that soak. Even if you have a darker couch, I would encourage you to clean it as best as you can. If you can't take off the covers, then spot clean it, but I just think clean cushions are a great place to start because the dirty ones do make it look more frumpy and sad. And so anything we can do to make it a little less frumpy and a little less sad, let's do it. As I was taking off the covers, I realized that my cushions actually do have foam in them, so I was wrong about that. But regardless, there's just not enough support. So we're going to fix that today. All right, now that the cleaning is done, I'm just grabbing my foam that I bought from Home Depot. It's furniture foam. I'll link it down below. I think it was like $30. And I chose this one because it's very close to the width and length of my couch, so I can lay it on there and it fits pretty nicely. However, I obviously can't just lay that down and then put the cushions on top because it is bright green. It does not match at all. I thought about trying to find a similar cloth and sewing it over the cushion, but that would require a sewing machine and there's no guarantee that it won't still look rather tacky if you look close enough. So what I'm going to do instead is cut the cushion and then stuff it inside of the covers. So my couch actually has covers inside of covers, so we can start doing that now while the outer covers soak in the tub. As you can see, I'm just laying the cushions out the way that they normally go on top of the foam and then roughly marking the spots where the cushions end so I have a rough idea of where to cut it. But I'm not going to stop there. I want it to be as professional as possible. So I am going to grab my measuring tape and just make sure I'm cutting it into even thirds. Close enough. Now I'm just drawing straight lines with a ruler so that I don't have crooked pieces. It's not perfect, but in the end, all we can do is our best. Then I took my handy dandy Costco scissors and got to snip it. And when those completely failed me, I grabbed the kitchen shears. That didn't work either, but what did was a bread knife. I looked up a short and very helpful video, and apparently it's best not to saw, but instead to gently pull through the foam with the knife until it cuts through. So it was a bit difficult, but what I did was slowly ease the furniture foam into the cushion. And my goal was to line it up as perfectly as possible with the original piece of foam. And I just did that for all 3 cushions. A lot of feathers were shed in the process, but I hate these feathers anyway. They always poke out of the couch and scratch me, so I say good riddance. When they were all filled with foam, I kind of just stepped on them a bit to let the foam settle into the corners and lay as flat as possible. And it helped a lot. Kind of gross, but my socks are clean, I swear. The bottom cushions are done and they feel amazing. So much fluffier, so much more support. I can't feel the beam when I sit down. I can't wait to put the clean cushions on these bad boys. For the top cushions, I'm not going to do the same thing. They're oddly shaped and I don't want them to be that fluffy. So what I bought is some polyfill. It's like a pillow stuffer. You can get it at Michael's, Walmart, Joann's, Amazon, most places where they sell things. But for that, I'm just going to divide it into threes and give these back cushions some more life and filling without putting a whole foam block in them. Seriously, 100 times better. Okay. Got in my mouth. So it looks like these back cushions do not have any sort of foam in them. It doesn't have a zipper either for me to open it up and stuff it. So what I'm going to do is wait for the outer covers to be done in the wash and then stuff that instead. In the meantime, I'm going to just spot clean the dirty spots on my couch and leave this right here. This is my living room right now, in case anyone was wondering. When the cushions had finished soaking in OxiClean for 2 hours, I threw them in the washing machine and just washed them on a gentle cycle. Alright, so the cushions are done. I know it's a bit counterintuitive, but I read that it's best to put them back on the couch when they're still a little bit damp because they shrink the more they dry, and they're a bit more expanded when they're damp, so it's easier to fit them around the cushions. So that's what I'm going to do. I thought I would dry them for a bit, but they actually didn't really need it. They're pretty dry just from the spin cycle on the washer. And there's feathers floating around this house. Let this be a warning to you before you purchase down. It's expensive and annoying. All right, let's do this. After doing that first one, I'm really glad I did not put them in the dryer because it was a squeeze. But I'm just gonna put in the other two and then do the back cushions and then we will move on to stuffing. Now that those are all done, I'm just gonna stuff it with the polyfill and we will be done. My goal with the polyfill was to, as much as possible, give an even layer to the cushion and also fill the corners so that it didn't look too lumpy. So that's what I tried to do. So I definitely didn't need that much polyfill. I could have probably gotten away with half of it, like 2.5 pounds instead of 5, maybe even 2. Whatever, I'm sure I'll use it eventually. Maybe I'll make a pillow. All right, so this was the final result. Ultimately, I was pretty happy with how it turned out. I feel like if I were to do it again, I would probably use 2-inch thick foam instead of 3. 3 stuffed it really well, but maybe just a touch too much. I feel like 2 would have been perfect. I also would have bought like half the polyfill, maybe even less. I bought a 5-pound bag for this project, and because I only stuffed the back pillows, I did not need that. 2 would have been fine, maybe more than enough. But ultimately, the couch is way more comfortable. I can sit on the edge and the beam is not driving into my legs. And the pillows feel a lot more dense, sturdy, and supportive. If you try this, let me know how it goes for you. I hope that this video helped you. Please subscribe for more content like this, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next one.